The Athene Real Talk Podcast explores controversial ideas to stimulate debate and active thinking. These ideas do not always reflect Athene's personal views. Welcome to the Athene Real Talk Podcast.
He has been called the best gamer in the world, hands down.
World-famous gamer and philanthropist Athene.
Gaming for Good, it's called, has raised more than $20 million.
Using his notoriety to raise money for charity.
On activism, science, culture, and self-development.
Proud to have him in the studio today. I would not want to take you on in a video game.
I'm a realist, should I apply? Damn straight. Also, you shouldn't label yourself as this or that. You just are what you are, that's it. But I think everyone should apply and come over and take advantage of this opportunity. Do you know, when I was young, right, doing what was right, changing the world was really fucking hard. Finding like-minded people, working my ass off. You guys get it on easy mode. You guys really get to just join a place that already sorts everything out, has projects and everything worked out. It's almost like you get it handed on a plate, doing what is right. And you still can go like, Man, when I was younger, I had to struggle and fight. Still nothing compared to my ancestors. They died. I'm not gonna go and try to make it sound like, hey, look at me. But still, you guys have such an easy time to do good and still wasting your potential. Man, the thing is that before hearing the real talk, I was really fulfilled a bit with when you started talking emotions like equations, and I tried to do so and it didn't work. I got frustrated. Well, it's maybe because you don't fully understand. It is definitely because you don't fully understand. You don't understand your emotions, where they come from. You're trying to be maybe too much of a robot, trying to be someone you're not by living up to an image that I create with an inner critic in your head or something that is me. No, it's about you figuring out why you do what you do and really going about it in a very honest way. And that also requires understanding yourself, but at the same time, taking action and doing stuff is the quickest path to growth. It's just doing. Because you can read about books and learn all your life, but someone that actually takes initiative and does stuff will grow so much faster. And that's why people here grow so quick. It's because they just take action. All this self-help bullshit and all that stuff, it's all just garbage, man. Take action. Through action, you will grow so much faster. And I have literally data and evidence to back that up. Labeling is good. Well, labeling is the main issue with most dysfunctions, I suppose. The problem is not labeling. Because one says labeling is good, the other says labeling is wrong. Labeling is a system that we use through evolutionary biology to be able to say, oh, this is a threat, this is good, or whatever. The thing is, with our cognitive capacities, we're able to not connect an emotional loaded weight to our labels. Because the problem is not so much labeling, the problem is emotionally labeled, being attached. This is how it is. But labeling itself is a good thing. Of course, if we're more primitive and more emotionally oriented, our labels are all emotionally loaded. And as a result, we are biased as fuck. So being able to detach the emotional loadedness to the labels literally allows you to think much more analytical and clear-minded and cognitive. How can anyone even think they know what life is about, though? Like, if tomorrow if we prove we are a simulation, for example, then what's the point anyway? What I mean is, how can you be so sure evolution and moving forward is all there is? All our thinking is limited in human concepts. Maybe this is my bullshit way, but hey, I always stayed sort of skeptical. You ain't skeptical. What you're saying is just some bullshit lie. Everything is probabilistic anyway. You can't say things are binary. You can't say things are absolute, and you can't use, so it's not absolute, therefore you can be sure, therefore it doesn't matter. That's not true. It's not because you can be sure that what you eat is poisonous or not that you stop eating. Oh no, of course not, because you know the likelihood that rat poison will poison you and French fries won't, even though it also poisons you a little bit, or water won't. You still live through life based on pattern recognition and based on probabilities. Life is a probabilistic event. It's not something that is absolute. Do you understand that? So if you try to dismiss any point because you cannot put it in an absolute framework, it just reflects your own binary, emotional, potato, monkey brain. That's it. So you can't use that as an argument at all. So even you saying what you're saying is never absolute, but it's more likely the best thing to do. Damn straight, but that's life, bro. That is life. It's so obvious. Everything are uncertainties. Every single certainty in your head is just your way of finding safety in this belief and say this is the truth. It's bullshit. You're lying. And that's the beauty. The moment you start absorbing that, you start questioning and becoming more skeptical and even question yourself. But we have the tendency to think in denial and really stuck our teeth in this is how it is, and that's a big threat. So there's no defined way to do good. Can I do it my way with my friends? Well, there's no real defined way to do good, like this is the way to do it, but there is a best way for you to do it. And the best way is not defined by what you think and what you feel, it's defined by the consequences of your actions, by reality. And how do you know the consequences of your actions before seeing the consequences? By looking at patterns and recognize patterns, being able to predict what's going to happen. How do you do that? Science, logic. Of course, there is sometimes gut feeling is part of the equation as well, because your gut feeling mechanism is a very advanced pattern recognition system, although you always got to give it room for failure. Well, failure, room for being wrong. And that's the beauty. You think I wake up and thinking I know it all and that I have everything right. I wake up and I think I can improve every day. And that's what I try to do. I never settle. I always try to do better and better and better and better, without imposing it on myself. It just comes naturally. It comes naturally for me because the path of least resistance is moving forward. But then I don't believe anything is true, even the statements I make. Yeah, but that's the thing. In belated, welcome to the start of your journey. That's the beauty. The moment you do, you not only bullshit yourself, you get stuck. That's the way I go every day in my life. I don't think one thing is the truth. No fucking way. I can always be wrong. The idea of being wrong is beautiful. The path of least resistance is not the only way forwards. Plux Nation, let me tell you something. The path of least resistance is what is the case for everyone. We all follow the path of least resistance. It's just called entropy. There is no one that doesn't follow the path of least resistance. Even if someone like me does hard work, it's still the path of least resistance. The path of least resistance for me is not settling. Because settling is such a threat. It's such a crazy thought that I can't even allow myself to do so. Yes, I do care, but I want to be sure before I'm doing something. Well, I gave you a good tip. Just get into web dev. Start making your own little websites. Learn how to code and stuff. It's going to help you way more. Maybe get into machine learning. But set a project for yourself and work on it. And just learn as you do. Don't get too much invested in it. Realize it might do not so much, but you learn and you do it. And it could be something small, but as you go step by step, the internet, you can learn all these things. You can download the software, everything. There you go, man. I just gave you very clear stuff you can do. Graphic work is that thing for me. Uplix, let me tell you something. It's not about that's the thing for me. For some people it's singing. For other people it's just football. No, it's not about that's the thing for me. That really pushes my buttons. That's not how you really truly grow. It's about cognitively making a decision. That's the best thing to do. So that's what I'm going to do. It's not about like, I have my own little flavor. This is what I like to do, so I'm going to do that. Do you know that that's what's fucking you over? It's not about finding what pushes your buttons. It's about doing what is right. In your opinion, is it wrong to do stuff only to please yourself and your relatives and care for you and your relatives only? But the thing is, wrong, right, it's all just, it's just not aligned with reality, that's all. It's dishonest. It's inconsistent. And that's it. I'm not going to label it right or wrong. Things are just the way they are, But you're going about life in a very inconsistent way, that's all. Karka says, I don't get it. How is it inconsistent? I care about my family. And that's it. I'm not trying to argue or be rude. Just want to understand how it's inconsistent. It's inconsistent because the extent to which you care about your family is merely defined by your own personal biases based on how you grew up. If you tomorrow suddenly realize that your family is not really your family, you got adopted, the entire structure and connection that you have towards your family is merely conditioned as you grew up. That's it. There's no more or less to the equation. Thing is, the idea of just this is my family, so I should care about these specific people because they had the honor and the privilege to be connected to me because I grew up with them rather than growing up with some kids in Africa and having a different family, creates a framework where you're just privileged and entitled and biased towards specific people, while on a fundamental level we're all equal. And if you start looking at the world from that perspective and everyone as your family, start seeing it like that, not only do we create a better life for everyone, including your family, but you also create this framework that is going to allow us to grow more, including yourself. So when you're just focusing on yourself and your surroundings, your direct surroundings, you literally go against the superorganism. Of course, you just can go about it in a much more effective way, and that's why it's inconsistent. It's inconsistent because your family merely has a connection to you because of how you grew up, but on a fundamental level, everyone, the people all around you, all humans, are part of your family. And just creating this emotional attachment to these specific people because you knew them, because you grew up, is just completely, it's absurd. It's just a mental image. It's a fugazi. And that's it. So that's why you're inconsistent. You can be much more productive, much more impactful, much more in line with reality by just seeing everyone as your family. Then there is no wars, there is no misery, and even more of the struggles that you have to face and your family wouldn't even exist. So if everybody would think like you would end up in the situation where you just care about your little small family. But if everyone would think like me, you would be living in a utopia. That's why you're inconsistent. Because my way of thinking brings about a lot more progress, a lot more benefits to the entire organism than the way you go about it. When people think about visionaries, you think about some great thinker, right? Visionaries are people that are determined to make their ideas come true. They put the effort in it. They take action. A visionary is not a guy just sitting in his basement thinking about great ideas. No, you put the effort in it to make it come true. So a lot of visionary aspect is taking action. I think everybody is a visionary. You just gotta see the world for what it is and take action. Xenos X, I personally don't allow myself to be affected by the bystander effect, not a sheep, lol. Why do you have the need to say that in the chat? You think people are gonna start applauding and go like, Xenos X is really such a shepherd, such a strong character. Oh, look, he said, like, let's clap for him. Oh, what a strong personality in the Twitch chat. What the fuck? Where are you at? Seriously, in which fucking worlds do you guys live, man? Try to be keyboard warriors and wannabes in the chat. Go like, I ain't no sheep, a thing. Hey, everybody here, look at me, I ain't no sheep. You see how amazing I am. I care that you guys think I'm not a sheep. Hey, I'm so good. So, come on, man, get the fuck out. I can't even believe that people have the need to say that in the chat. You want a medal? Like, just the need to type that in the chat, it's just proof that what you're typing is bullshit. You care what people think about you, man. Equals sheep. Man, but life isn't about crushing people and being a winner and shit. I don't want to be this fucking white knight. You're not a white knight when you're crushing people or being a winner. And you're not a winner when you crush people. You're a winner when you help humanity move forward. And if that means crushing people, then that is crushing people. I don't have the goal to... I do have a level of righteousness, though. I have to say that when people, like, for example, all this stuff with quant and all this la resistance, there is a certain level of righteousness going like, these fucking gullible suckers didn't listen to me and look where they are. Probably lost money, went all on this fucking trail, going like, yeah, Athene, going down. Next time, learn from the king. Some of it is there, but then I also have this level of father figure of wanting to protect these gullible suckers that got fucking screwed over and bring justice if they got screwed over. A little bit. I got that little bit. It's like this father that, even if his son fucks up, he's still there to back him up. That kind of thing. But at the same time also has this idea like, this is a good life lesson. A little bit like that. I think, I'm giving good metaphors here. No, D. Barks, didn't you listen what happened? I think Quant basically scammed them. Took some money from some gullible fuckers, made this fake case, sent it to us. It took us literally 5 seconds to figure out that the guy that made the website made it half an hour before they sent the mail. We exposed it on the stream. And you know what happened today? He disappeared. And I warned them this was going to happen. Doing charity work is commendable, but it won't change anything long term. No one knows how to fix the world problems. It's really a bullshit excuse, by the way, the bronze boy. Because it's not about changing the world. It's not an on and off switch. If you just help people, right? If you were the person that was getting helped, you wouldn't simplify it like that. It's a very, very, very stupid way of looking at the world. It's like you can't change the world. You can be a good person, yo. And you like people to be good people to you too. So don't come and say that shit in the chat.
Subscribe to youtube.com/AtheneWins. Watch the live stream at twitch.tv/AtheneLive. And follow The Real Athene on Snapchat.